What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about one of the most heated debates in all of combat sports, the UFC greatest of all time conversation.
Now with new names like Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev starting to break into the discussion, I think it's the perfect time to step back, look at the current all-time greats, and point out the biggest problems with each one of them. Because let's be real, every so-called GOAT has a hole in their case. Jon Jones. Let's start with Johnny Bones Jones, probably the most scrutinized GOAT of them all. For years, people called him the greatest ever, but now? His legacy is honestly falling apart. First, the way he ended his career. The whole Tom Aspinall situation is a nightmare. He ducked Aspinall, strung fans along with excuses, clung to the stipe fight, and it's clear he doesn't want to risk his legacy against the new blood. MMA fans hate that kind of behavior. Then there's the PEDs. Steroids will always hang over him. Add in the close fights, like the Reyes fight that many people think he lost, and it's obvious his resume has cracks. He's got the quantity of wins, sure, but the quality isn't as strong as it looks on paper. That's Jon's biggest problem. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Next up, Khabib. The undefeated aura, 29-0, never losing a single fight. He's the mythical figure of MMA. But the problem? Quality of wins. Yes, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje are solid names. After that though, it drops off hard. Ilia Quinta, and then a bunch of average contenders. His early fights. The records of those opponents were abysmal. And when he finally reached the top, he didn't stick around long enough to prove himself against multiple waves of elite talent. Khabib's greatness is as much about aura and dominance as it is about actual high-level scalps. And that hurts his GOAT case. Islam Makhachev. Now let's bring up Islam Makhachev, the guy many people see as the next Khabib, or even better than Khabib. The biggest problem for Islam's GOAT case is twofold: strength of schedule and the Khabib shadow. Yes, he has dominant wins against guys like Charles Oliveira and Alexander Volkanovski. But beyond that, a lot of his title defenses haven't been against long-reigning legends or all-time greats. His division is strong, but it's not like he's been through 8 to 10 Hall of Famers yet. And whether it's fair or not, he's always going to be compared to Khabib. Some people still see him as Khabib 2.0 rather than his own man. Until he builds a deeper list of scalps, people will say his resume doesn't match up to the old legends. That's the wall Islam has to break if he wants to cement himself as a true GOAT. Georges St-Pierre, GSP. Now, let's talk about GSP. After Jones's legacy started to crumble, I think GSP became the most widely accepted GOAT in 2025. The problem with him? He was a decision machine. Yes, he dominated, but most of his fights went the distance. People criticized him for being too safe, too tactical, not entertaining enough. And of course, the Johnny Hendricks fight. A razor-thin decision that a lot of fans scored against him. That one fight lingers over his career. Still, I think being a long-lasting dominant champion is rare in this sport, and GSP pulled it off better than almost anyone. Anderson Silva. Now Anderson Silva. 10 years ago, he was number 1 or number 2 on everyone's list. But today, a lot of people don't even put him in their top 10. 2 reasons. First, level of competition. The middleweight division during his reign was shallow. Fighters like Forrest Griffin and Chael Sonnen wouldn't even be ranked top 10 in today's middleweight landscape. Second, the way his career ended, with loss after loss. Personally, I don't weigh that too much because I judge fighters at their peak. But many fans do, and it has dragged Anderson way down the list. Demetrious Johnson. Then we have Mighty Mouse, Demetrious Johnson. One of the most technically flawless fighters ever. But his problem? Quantity over quality. Yes, he had a record-breaking title defense streak. But the flyweight division wasn't stacked, and a lot of his opponents just weren't elite-level guys. He can only fight who's in front of him, sure, but it still hurts when you compare his resume to the other GOATs. Conor McGregor. Now let's add Conor McGregor to this conversation. Conor changed MMA forever. There's no debate about that. The first ever double champ, the biggest draw in UFC history, and one of the best pure strikers the sport has ever seen. But when it comes to the GOAT debate, the biggest problem is obvious: longevity and consistency. After his peak run from 2015 to 2016, Conor basically fell off. He never defended a belt, went 1-3 at lightweight, and his late career was riddled with losses. His greatness is undeniable, but it's built on moments, not a long reign. He's more of a legend than a GOAT. So who's the GOAT? Here's where I stand. I'd still say GSP holds the crown as the most complete GOAT candidate. And that's it for today, fight fans. Drop your GOAT rankings down in the comments. I want to see where you all stand. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more fight breakdowns, and I'll see you in the next one.